My girlfriend and I accidentally became engaged at a restaurant, even though neither of us proposed, and the wedding date was invented to get free champagne. 3 weeks later, my father was measuring a dance floor. Her brother had written a rehearsal speech, and I was still pretending this was all part of the plan. It started when a restaurant manager tried to upsell us into a $38 bottle of champagne because it was Tuesday, and apparently Tuesday is when love needs financial assistance. Elena pulled a fake wedding planner from her purse and said, "Actually, we're comparing venues." I played along because I'm excellent at making bad decisions and strategic. I told the manager we were considering June 14th, 86 guests, and an elegant but relaxed atmosphere, which is how I describe myself right before avoiding a difficult conversation. Elena's fake planner was mostly empty pages, one restaurant napkin, and a list of family email addresses she'd copied from an old potluck thread. The manager said he'd send us a complimentary wedding packet. He sent it to both families. By breakfast, my mother had replied, "A stitch in time saves 9, which is her way of saying she had already called a florist. Elena's father answered every question with another question, including, "Have you considered whether the centerpieces are asking enough of the guests?" I could have admitted the truth. Instead, I said, "We're just exploring options." That phrase is how a man turns a lie into a group project. My parents booked a venue called the Orchard Room and paid a deposit in my name. I learned this when the venue manager emailed, "Congratulations, Michael," and attached a seating chart shaped like a pear. Then Elena's family announced they had booked a different venue for June 21st. Our families had crossed the dates because my mother's email said "the wedding," while Elena's father read it as "the wedding we're hosting." 2 families, 2 venues, 1 couple, no wedding. At dinner, Elena's brother stood up and delivered a rehearsal speech. He had printed it on cream cardstock and opened with, "Marriage is like a bridge." Then he paused and asked me, "Do you know what marriage is like?" I said, "A bridge?" He nodded. "Exactly. You'll understand the rest on the day." My best friend, Caleb, found a guest list in my inbox. It contained 86 people, including my former piano teacher, Elena's dentist, and a man named Gary who had apparently been added because someone misheard Gary's catering as Gary. Caleb looked at the list and said, "These are all people you love." I told him Gary was complicated. That night, Elena and I sat in her car outside my apartment. For the first time, she stopped laughing. She said, "You know, you don't have to keep performing confidence." I wanted to tell her I was scared. Instead, I said, "I've got this," because apparently my mouth was being operated by a motivational poster. The next morning, both families arrived at the Orchard Room, carrying binders. My mother had a florist. Elena's father had a spreadsheet. Her brother had bridge metaphors. Caleb had Gary, who turned out to be a real person and was offended nobody remembered inviting him. Then Elena opened her own binder. It wasn't fake. She'd kept it for years. Venue comparisons, vows, guest lists, even a page titled "Things Michael Will Pretend Not to Care About." She hadn't been testing whether I wanted a wedding. She was testing whether I could make one honest decision without hiding behind a joke. So I finally made one. I told everyone the original plan was fake, the dates were wrong, and I loved Elena enough to stop acting like uncertainty was a personality. There was a long silence. Then my mother said, "Well, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush," and asked whether June 21st came with a cancellation fee. We kept the wedding. We invited Gary, and the restaurant still gave us the champagne because the coordinator said the bottle had already been opened. It was sparkling apple cider, but I drank it like a man who had just committed to something, carefully, publicly, and with 86 witnesses.